Welcome to the Happy Families Podcast, real parenting solutions every day on Australia's most downloaded parenting podcast. I'm Justin. I'm here with Kylie, my wife, mum to our 6 kids. And Kylie, today's the day. It's I'll Do Better Tomorrow, where we reflect on the week that was and highlight what's working and what's not. And we haven't done this for weeks and weeks.
And it's interesting. We're sitting here and I'm actually wondering, what have we got to talk about? We did nothing. These holidays, we did nothing.
Yeah. I like the whole idea of the first one back is let's talk about what we did over the last month or so. And the answer is cost of living. We're not going anywhere. It's a staycation. Our backyard has become the new Bali because it's a lot cheaper than getting on a plane and sitting over there in the sweltering heat. And oh gosh, it's been extremely quiet. Having said that, we still need to make sure that we have something that we're working on to do better tomorrow. The Christmas break was very quiet. I had a funny interaction with one of our kids. She said to me that she went to the shops and bought some ice cream. And when she pulled the ice cream out of the bag, she pulled out 2 boxes of ice creams. I said, hang on, why have you got 2 boxes of ice creams? This is not a joke, by the way. This is true. You're looking at me like I'm winding up for a punchline. And she said, well, Dad, the ice cream was half price. And so I thought, I really should buy 2 because technically I'm getting 1 for free. And then she looked at me and she did the little hashtag with the fingers, 2 hands, 4 fingers, hashtag, and goes, hashtag girl math. I'm like, so we spent twice as much as we needed to because we could have had just 1 box of, we could have had all the ice cream we needed for half the price. But instead, we still spent the full price and got twice as much ice cream.
She's not the only one who gets it wrong. I decided I was going to buy some cornettos and I had to...
We're trying to stop snacking and get rid of all this junk food from our home. And here you are buying cornettos.
Well, we had people coming over for dinner and it was a really easy dessert.
Yeah.
And I needed 10. And so I looked at it and I was like, okay, I need 3 boxes because there's 4 in each box.
Well, that's 12.
Right. Well, I can't buy half a box.
I would have just gone with that, but that's okay. Yep.
But then I decided that Bulla Crunches were half price.
Yep.
And so that it would be much better for me to buy those. But I didn't continue to do the maths. I just went, I'll just get 3 boxes because I was getting 3 boxes.
That's why we had all the Bulla ice cream in the freezer.
And when I got home and we couldn't fit them all in, I was trying to work out what I'd done wrong.
Because there's like 8 in a pack. So you bought 24.
No, the splits had 10 in a pack.
So you bought like 30 ice creams for the 10 that we needed. That explains why I've been eating 2 ice blocks every single day and they just don't seem to disappear. We have a lot of ice cream in the freezer and we're trying not to snack. We're trying to be healthy. That's the New Year's thing.
Clearly you're not.
I need to get rid of the sugar so that we don't have any sugar to snack on.
Clearly we have a problem.
What's your I'll Do Better Tomorrow, Mrs. Happy Families? What is it that you have done this week that you either need to improve on to be better tomorrow or that you've done this week that you've just nailed and you want to keep doing it because it'll help you to be better tomorrow?
So a handful of years ago, we moved to the Sunshine Coast and I literally lived the best 9 months I can remember ever living.
So for those of you who missed the story, it's 3 years ago this month, pretty much three years ago this week. We had our house in Brisbane. You came up and we got an Airbnb, short-term rental, while we looked for a house and got our house in Brisbane sold. But that took a bit longer than we thought it would take. And you ended up living essentially beachside at Mooloolaba, like 200 metres from the beach for
6 months.
While I commuted from the sunny coast of Brisbane whenever I could so that I could see you guys most weekends and got the house sold.
Hence why I lived my best life.
Because I was gone and you were hanging out on the beach. Right. Okay, I see where this is going.
But obviously, once we bought a house and we started to settle down and settle into our new lifestyle, things quickly changed and I found myself running faster than I wanted to. And for the last couple of years, it has been really intense. You've been traveling more than normal and we took homeschooling on last year. So things have just been a lot for a long time. And towards the end of last year, I honestly, I just wanted to throw life out the window. I wanted to throw every component out and start with a fresh slate. But that meant getting rid of you and the 6 kids and the grandbaby. And it's not very realistic, is it?
It's not like you have any regret about saying that. It's like I just couldn't actually do it. Tried. Wanted to. Thanks.
I just wanted to curl up in a ball and hide in a big dark hole until everybody disappeared.
Yeah. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
But as a result of that, obviously we've acknowledged that we didn't do much over the holidays. We've literally stopped.
We did a big fat nothing. I've read about 6 books this year already.
And I've read 2.
Yeah, it's been beautiful.
And it got me thinking about that gorgeous 9 months that I had, and knowing that I can't live in a holiday home and I have to live a real life, was looking at the components that made up the goodness in that period of time. And one of the things that was just so instrumental and such an integral part to the goodness that I experienced over those 9 months was having time for me each morning. But as our lives have gotten busier and there's been so many more moving parts, and I've now got children at home 24/7, struggling to find, or actually it's not even struggling to find, it's actually struggling to give myself permission to take that time for me. And so with the new year coming in, I don't know what it is. I reckon that there's some psychological phenomenon going on.
Fresh starts. Talked about it on Monday. Feels good.
It just feels good. And so in spite of the fact that I wasn't actually thinking about setting any goals as such, 2 days before New Year's hit, I was in that headspace. What do I want next year to look like? And what do I want to let go of? And I just started writing. Like, it just started flowing out of me. And by the time I got to the end of it, I looked at it and I just went, that's it. That's what I want. And the biggest thing for me was learning that it's okay to take time for me. I keep having to learn this.
I think every mum does.
Life gets so busy and there's so many things that you think you have to say yes to.
It's all essential. It's all necessary.
Yes. And so your needs get pushed to the side because you think that in order to be a good mum, a good wife, a good friend, a good sister, that you need to say yes to all of these things, but you end up saying no to you in the process. And so this week, I have said yes to me every morning, and it has felt amazing. It has felt so good to have that time to sit and have introspection and look at who I'm becoming and who I want to become, to read other people's amazing, intelligent, well-structured thoughts and try to implement that thinking into my own space, and to be able to document my life as it's happening. They're all things that are so important to me, but they just got left out last year.
The take-home message, the real parenting solution is...
give yourself permission.
Can I say it a little bit crassly? It's okay to be a little bit selfish now and then. Like, give yourself that little bit each day where you say, no, I need to do this for me so that I can actually be there for you.
100%.
A little bit of selfishness may end up being quite selfless.
But the reality is it's not selfishness.
No, because it makes you better for everyone else.
But we've been trained for so long to believe that taking time out for ourselves is selfish, and we've got to change the narrative.
Okay, well, my I'll Do Better Tomorrow is a continuation of a theme that I picked up the end of last year. For those of you who might have missed it because you're on holidays or not listening to the pod, after a couple of years of me begging. Oh no, begging. Yeah, I'm not going to change that. Begging our youngest daughter Emily to come surfing. I just want to teach. I've asked all of our kids to learn to surf and have been unsuccessful in getting any of them interested at all. And a couple of years ago, Emily did come surfing, but the water was cold and she got dumped by a wave and she said, I'm never doing it again. And so every couple of months I've said, hey, I'm going surfing, or hey, I'd love to take you surfing. And she's just been vehement in her refusal. I'm not going. I'm never surfing. I hate the ocean. I don't want to go. But for Christmas, because she couldn't afford a gift, she told me that she'd let me take her surfing. And so I did not let that opportunity pass. I took her to the beach. She loved it. And we've been going to the beach most days. We can't quite get there every day for any number of reasons, and sometimes it's just that the conditions are wrong. Yeah. But every day the conditions have been good. We've gotten down to the beach and spent between half an hour and maybe up to 3 hours catching waves. And this kid is surfing, and she has, I'm not going to say she's fully got the bug, but she's well on her way. There's no pushback. There's no resistance. She's finally starting to experience it beautifully. And I'm loving the joy that's on her face when she's in the ocean, the confidence that comes as she catches a wave or paddles back out without getting hit by too many waves. It's such a joyful thing to watch. I had an insight though, and I guess I've had this a few times in a few different ways, but for I'll Do Better Tomorrow, what I really want to emphasize is your youngest kids, especially when you have a big family like us and spread them across 15 years with those 6 kids, our youngest children certainly get the best of us, and our youngest daughter particularly gets the best of us. We're older, we're wiser, but we also have less pressure and less demands on us now than we did when the first ones were being raised and growing up. And so with different levels of time and even financial resources, I'm watching our youngest get a better version of me than our older kids got. So my older bit tomorrow is actually this. The awareness makes it possible for me to make that up in some small way for each of our older kids. So I'm consistently looking for ways that I can connect, reach out, touch, share, listen, engage with, involve myself in the things that matter to our older kids. And while sometimes I do it better and other times I don't do it very well at all, the awareness of the need for that connection is driving me. And it's the time spent in the ocean with Emily that's made me more acutely, more poignantly aware of it.
So I'm not going to disagree with anything you've said. I think that all of it is true, especially from our experience. But I am going to suggest that it's not necessarily that they get the best of us at the other end. I think so much of it's about timing. If you had the time that you now have as a young dad, do you think that our children would have experienced a different version of you?
We still spend a lot of time with our kids. Make no mistake. I mean, we were off. We had Super Saturdays. We'd go on outings. We've always worked super, super hard to get that investment. But I feel like there's a different quality of character and connection. I feel like I'm a different person. I feel like I'm a different dad.
Of course you are.
And she's getting the. I mean, our eldest daughter is in her mid-20s with her own child now, and our youngest daughter is reaping the benefits of our experience with the 5 kids older than her, where we have connected in ways that perhaps weren't quite as effective or weren't quite as wonderful or perfect.
And yet, in spite of that, our eldest daughter is a better parent than we ever were.
Yeah, she is.
At her age.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's just a beautiful reality that we are doing the very best we can with what we have in any given moment. And it's not really, I don't think the focus should be on the fact that our elder kids missed out and our younger kids are getting more. I think it's a beautiful acknowledgement that we're growing and maturing and learning as individuals and specifically as parents, and our kids benefit from that over time.
We hope that this conversation helps you to do better tomorrow. Oh, speaking of tomorrow, something brand new that we've never done on the pod before, we're going to start launching, when we can, full-length interviews of the wonderful people that we get to talk to on the pod. Tomorrow, Australia's most decorated Olympian ever, Emma McKeon, chatting with me for about 30 minutes about all of the life lessons she's learned being raised by a champion swimming father and coach, and then going on to Olympic glory. We're going to talk about what the parenting lessons are that we can pick up from her Olympic journey. That's Emma McKeon on the Happy Families podcast for your weekend listening pleasure. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rullon from Bridge Media. We would be so grateful if you would jump online and leave us a 5-star rating and review. When you leave those ratings and reviews, it helps other people to find the podcast. I don't know how the algorithm works exactly, but trust me, if you give us a 5-star rating and review, more people will be able to listen and make their families happier. Could you take 30 seconds to do that? We'd be so grateful. More information and more resources to make your family happier can be found at happyfamilies.com.au. Oh, and on Monday, my 2025 parenting predictions.